Hello, I have with me today two Yamaha Clavinova digital pianos, the CLP-535 on my left and the CLP-545 on my right. If you're trying to decide between the two at the moment, then this is the video for you, because I'm going to explain in detail what the differences are between the two models and what exactly you get for your extra money with the CLP-545. Have a look at the ePianos website. Delivery is free and fast across the UK. So price wise, CLP-535 in its matte finishes is about £1,220 roughly at the minute, and the 545 £1,589. So there's about £370 difference between the two. And these two pianos, being in the same class, they have a lot that's similar, of course, as I'm sure you're finding in your own research. They're both the same amount of keys. The cabinet design, as you can see, is pretty much the same. You can do basic things like plug headphones in and record on both of them. And because we're looking at two from the middle of the range, we've started to get some quite nice refined features like synthetic ivory key tops on the two, and they both have what's called an escapement mechanism, which is simulating on a traditional piano where the hammer is quickly withdrawn from the string after playing to allow the string to resonate, and you feel this in the keys as a little notch. It's just a little touch of authenticity that gets them both closer to playing the real thing. Okay, so let's get to the important bit. What makes the two pianos different from each other? The first thing I want to do is just play them both on an ordinary piano at exactly the same volume so you can hear what they sound like. Now, in particular, I want you to listen to the middle range of the CLP-545, because there's a difference in the speakers which I'll come to later, but listen very carefully to the scales as I play them on the pianos. Okay, I'll start with the 535. Okay, and CLP-545. Okay, so that's both of the pianos on ordinary piano at exactly the same volume. And the reason I mentioned listen to the middle range of the two is because the speaker setup is different on the two. On the 535 on my left, we have on it two 30-watt amplifiers and two 16-inch speakers, which is great, and as you've heard, it sounds very nice to play. But on 545, we have two 25-watt amplifiers, two 16cm speakers, so the same as that one, but then we've got two 8cm speakers on top. Now, this is what Yamaha call their three-way speaker system, and I have to say, just sitting and playing it, there's something about the middle register that comes through. There's a crispness to it, it's a little bit brighter, and this aids the sensitivity, I think. This feels like I can put more into it and get more out of it. Now, sitting and playing the two together, I have to say, the 535, as good as it is, does appear to come across in a little bit of a muddy way, particularly when you're playing down at the bass end. It can get quite muddy and it can lose a little bit of its clarity. But 545, I never seem to lose clarity. It doesn't get so muddy that I can't distinguish what's going on. It allows me to get a little bit more from it, and I feel more like I'm playing a traditional piano. So that's just the speakers. Now, there's another big difference between the two, and that is the keys themselves. On 535, we use the same key mechanism as the 545, the GH3X mechanism, but the keys are plastic. If you look down the side of the keys, you can see that every single one is plastic, whereas on 545, the white ones are made from wood. And for me, this has a massive effect on how it feels to play. Wooden keys, they're not as dense as the plastic ones, so they just respond to your playing a little bit better. They seem to jump back, particularly when you play quicker passages. And again, it's more familiar to me being used to playing a traditional piano the wooden key just has more of a lifelike feel to it. Now that's not to say that plastic keys are terrible, and I think if you're particularly if you're a beginner, it's not going to make a big difference. But if you're an advanced player, or even if you plan to buy a piano and have it last you as you progress, having wooden keys just seems to give you a slightly more realistic feel. And playing the two, there's no question for me personally that wooden keys is a far nicer feel than plastic keys. So that's one thing in particular where the 545 trumps the 535. Okay, another difference between the two is the CLP-545 is the first one in the range that brings in rhythms for you. Now what that means is there are drum rhythms, drum patterns that the piano will play for you, so you can play over the top. Now you may not think this is so much of an important feature, and indeed if you're just playing piano it's not really going to be much good to you, but if you're practicing day to day, sometimes it's quite fun to put on a rhythm and just play along with it as well. It certainly makes a difference to just the ticking of a metronome. There's different styles, there's rock and there's jazz and country, a few variations in there, and it's just a nice little feature that makes practicing a bit more interesting, I think. And with the recording on here as well, recordings on both of them by the way, if you're a songwriter or a composer, having the rhythms is quite a nice extra feature to just inspire you a bit more. Now one other thing is to do with wearing headphones while you practice. Wearing headphones is standard with all of the Clavinova range. You can plug the headphones in, it'll cut the speakers so no one can hear you practicing. Particularly useful if you're in a busy house or you have to think about the neighbours, you don't want to make too much noise. But the way the headphones work is different on these two pianos. 535 has a very basic headphone setting. Put the earphones on and you'll hear a very dry interpretation of what the piano should be doing. On 545 there is what Yamaha call a stereophonic optimizer, which in plain English means when you're wearing headphones and you're playing, if you go to the right and you're playing on the treble end, the sound in the headphones will start to come from the right hand side, and likewise with the left hand side. Now having sat and played this quite a lot this morning with the earphones on, I was quite impressed. I didn't think it would be that much of a difference, but somehow the sound does feel detached from your ears, feels like you're hearing it from where the instrument is. On 535, yes, I can hear the piano very clearly through the earphones, but it's very one-dimensional, I would say. It doesn't make a great deal of difference if I go up to the treble end or the bass end. So that's stereophonic optimization through the earphones. If you're going to use the earphones a lot, 545 has the edge. Okay, just one little detail for you here. It's to do with music rests and holding your music books open. Look, on the 545 you have these little braces, music clips, just for holding the pages of the music books open. 535 does not have that, so you'll have to go back to the trusty clothes pegs or something like that. So in summary then, these two pianos, comparing the two, the first thing I should stress is playing them both quite a lot this morning is they both have real quality. Everything about them, the way the keys feel, the sound, the way the cabinet is so solid, it does have a real quality. Both of them are very good pianos and I can't really find fault with them, I have to say. But you want to know, is one worth £370 more than the other? Now in my opinion, even if it was just for the wooden keys alone, it would be worth that. Wooden keys just respond to your playing better than plastic keys. As I said, they're less dense, so they seem lighter to the touch and they respond, they just bounce back, particularly when you play quick passages. I really like the wooden key feature and I think that is something that really moves it above the 535. Now when you combine that with the three-way speaker system in here as well, as you heard in the playing test, there's more response in the middle register. Now to explain what that means in plain English, I feel like I can get more clarity in the playing when I sit and use this piano. When I play the 535, I think in that middle register and the bass end, I'm losing a bit of clarity because the sound's getting very muddled and a little bit muddy sounding. So the speakers make a big difference on 545 as well. And I think it's another thing that lifts it above the 535. Both of these things are features that are going to give the piano longevity. If you're starting off and you are aiming high and you want to go through the grades, the 545 is going to last you longer, that's without question. If you're an advanced player already and you're trying to decide between the two, I guarantee you'd sit and play the 545, feel the wooden keys, you would hear the clarity in the speakers, and there's no competition. Definitely worth the extra money, because the 545 is set up and designed for the more subtle playing that you do as you progress, as you get better. So what piano should I buy is the question. As you've seen, in my opinion anyway, 545 is definitely worth the extra money, but I can't criticise the 535 for how much it is. It's a very good piano. But in terms of longevity anyway, 545 is going to last you longer. If you're an advanced player, there's no question in my mind, this is the better piano. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below, or you can email us or ring us, indeed through the ePianos website. If there's anything else that you want to see compared or reviewed, again you can contact us and we'll do our best to make a video for you. I hope that's helped you if you are trying to decide between the two pianos. Remember, delivery is fast and free across the UK from the ePianos website. You can get to our website by clicking the link in the description below. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.